character. Now, can any human being possibly say this on oath if he's truthful? If he's truthful.
So it appears that as far as D, E, and G is concerned, there's no third-party declaration. You know, who's actually saying that he doesn't have adequate knowledge of Islam? Who's saying that he's said anything against the integrity of the country? So there's no third party, right? So how does the disqualification work? On that election, and then it forgets about it, and then the next election he can contest? I mean, we found out that he doesn't have adequate knowledge of Islam 20 years ago, and he missed the elections that time. Then he's now become a saint, perhaps.
Alim.
An alim. And then what happens?
Hafiz, alim.
So एक तो वो समझ नहीं आ रही, लेकिन फर्क सिर्फ ये है कि F में तो ये है कि एक declaration खड़ी हुई है थर्ड पार्टी की, तो जब तक वो खड़ी हुई है वो चलता रहेगा. That's what Samiullah Baloch saying. Samiullah Baloch actually turns on the declaration.
वो हुआ ये कि actually 18th amendment में ये जो declaration by court of law लाने का purpose तो ये था कि वो returning officers जो है ना वो डिटरमिन ना करते रहे या इस किस्म का एलिगेशन कोई और रैंडमली ना आकर लगा दे, और ताकि ये जो डी, ई और जी के अंदर जो हो सकता है वो एफ में ना हो.
आपके मुताबिक
उल्टा हो गया.
हाउ डज डी, ई एंड जी प्ले आउट एक्चुअली? आई वांट टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन. आज से 10 साल पहले किसी ने इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ पाकिस्तान के बारे में कोई बात स्पीच कर दी, बस खत्म हो गई बात. अब वो इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ सकता.
ये देखिए कुछ लोग होते हैं तो 5 years कर दिए, वो कहते हैं यस आई हैव सीन द लाइट. अब इस्लाम में भी तौबा की गुंजाइश आखिर मिनट तक है. वो कह सकता है जी मुझे, जैसे माय लॉर्ड ने ऑब्जर्व किया कि मुझे इस्लाम के बारे में नहीं पता था, अब मैंने सारे अब लाइफ टाइम बैन उसको कर दिया कि वो फिर शायद हाफिज बन गया हो सकता है, आलिम बन गया हो सकता है, आप और बेहतर और हम सबसे बेहतर कुरान शरीफ समझने लगा हो, और वो लाइफ टाइम बैन में आ गया क्योंकि उसको 20 साल पहले या 10 साल पहले या 5 साल पहले इन चीजों के मुतालिक इल्म नहीं था.
समीउल्लाह बलोच जो है इट एक्ट्स एज अ गलिटीन. वो कहते हैं कि जब आखिरी अपील में जब आप आएंगे तो बस उसके डिसीजन से पहले तो अगर आप रिपेंटेंस कर लें तो हो सकता है, वरना वंस that happens then there is no repentance.
कहाँ छोड़ा?
नहीं छोड़ा. 184(3) में तो वैसे ही नहीं होता, बट अदरवाइज भी नहीं.
रिपेंटेंस कहाँ लिखा हुआ है? साहब सुनने जरा, जी साहब
समीउल्लाह बलोच
देखें, इसमें असल बात यह है कि डिफरेंस हमने मालूम करना होगा 62 63A में. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द टू? एज फार एज आई एम कंसर्न, 62 इज नॉट गिविंग पावर टू डिसाइड अगेंस्ट अ पर्सन. देखिए इसमें तो सिंपल ये इट इज डिपेंडेंट अपॉन 63. 63 में जो कार्रवाई करेंगे वो दिखाएंगे, 62 में वो कहेंगे यू आर नॉट क्वालिफाइड. वेयर एज डिसक्वालिफिकेशन इज इन 63. अगर कोई शख्स सपोज कोई काम करता है, कोई गलत काम करता है, तो अगर आप जी और एच को पढ़ लें, जी और एच वो डिटरमाइन करते हैं कि कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ से जब उसको कोई डिक्लेरेशन हो, ये उस डिक्लेरेशन की बात हो रही है. आई थिंक सो जी. इस पर बात करें कि ये 62(1)(f) कहाँ पे पावर देते हैं कि आप इतने टाइम के लिए डिस्क्वालीफाई हो, इतने टाइम के लिए. वो तो सिर्फ ये बताते हैं कोई शख्स पेपर सबमिट हो रहे हैं उससे पहले बता दिए कि जी फला कोर्ट से इसको सजा हुई, लिहाजा पेपर खारिज. दैट्स ऑल, मैटर एंड्स. द अथॉरिटी डीलिंग विद दिस मैटर हैव नो पावर टू डिसाइड द डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन पीरियड ऑफ दैट पर्सन. वो डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन के पीरियड तो 63 ने बता दिया. ये सजा जुर्म करोगे तो इतनी सजा होगी, और उस जुर्म की सजा पूरी होने के 2 साल बाद जब आप निकलेंगे तो फिर आप क्वालिफाई होंगे. तो ये आप जो पहला सवाल जो आपसे किया कि डिफरेंस, आप डिफरेंस जब बताएंगे तो खुद ब खुद पता चलेगा व्हाट इज 62 एंड व्हाट इज 63.
So if 62(1)(f) is juxtaposed with 63(1)(h),
H and H both.
H moral turpitude
है, बिकॉज वो उसके साथ डिसऑनेस्टी एटसेट्रा वो उसके साथ है. मॉरल टर्पिट्यूड बीइंग वेरी ब्रॉड, और वो एग्जामिन हुआ समीउल्लाह बलोच. उसको अगर आप सामने रखें तो the consequence then, if they are to be reconciled, then the consequence is only one, which is that the timeline which is provided for the declaration in 63(1)(h) must necessarily apply to the time to the declaration 62(1)(f).
H में अगर conviction हो गई because it attracted an offence and so it led to conviction, then he can come back. But if it was lesser than even a case where it could constitute an offence and so he could not be taken in a criminal case, A simple declaration was given on the civil side. That goes on unlimited. Ab yehi samajh nahi aati, because otherwise then we also have to stay away from the concept of reading into the Constitution.
But now that you have started reading in, so I was just...
Well, that is also a question.
So you must stop from reading furthermore.
Reading into...
Just another aspect, if you can attend to. Can you read D?
My lord.
Again.
He is of good character and is not commonly known as one who violates Islamic injunctions.
Now please read F.
He is sagacious, righteous, non-profligate, honest and ameen, there being no declaration to the contrary by a court of law.
Now, what does this mean? There being no declaration to the contrary by a court of law. In clause D and in clause E and in clause G, these words are not mentioned.
That's right.
So either you say clause D, E and G are redundant, they're meaningless clauses, because the words, there being no declaration, either the same wording should have been followed. And I cannot understand the difference between good character and sagacious. I mean, good character is something different from sagacious. Is good character different from being righteous? Non-profligate. What does that even mean? What does non-profligate mean? What does it mean?
Who doesn't spend wastefully.
Israf.
Yeah.
So good character.
Yeah.
So if you are doing wuzu and wasting water, you become a profligate. Because there's a hadith of the Prophet,
that's right,
do not waste water, and even if you're standing next to a flowing river. So then he's a profligate. So, and then we go honest. Good character, every good character person is an honest person, I would imagine. And Ameen. I mean, these are words which a Muslim would never even dare utter in deference to the Holy Prophet, that only he is and none of us are. I mean, that is humility and abject humility. You will never say that. Otherwise, why would you seek forgiveness for whenever someone dies, please forgive his sins? Do we ever say he's entitled to Jannat and Allah Ta'ala grant him Jannat? He never committed a sin. We don't even pray that for ourselves. No honest person will say any of these things, that he is sagacious, righteous, non-profligate. Even the greatest saints in Islam were scared when they were dying, that they were scared of death because they were apprehensive of what may they be meeting in the hereafter. So I don't know, is this generally a wish list kind of situation as opposed to because otherwise everybody can, if I was filing a lamination paper and if someone says he's not of good character, I would not even challenge it. I said, I'm sure I've done something wrong in my life. Maybe I've done it wrong yesterday, so I don't know. So if you're honest and you say, right, his person is right, I am not sagacious, righteous, non-profligate, honest. I do not switch off the lights when I go out of a room. I waste electricity. I waste human resources which the Almighty provides. So where does it end then? I can bring any case into disqualify someone, and I want to save someone, I can also do the same thing.
That's why.
Should such power vest in judges who are themselves humans?
That's why
they want a greater test for parliamentarians than they have for themselves. Does this language find mention in the oath of office of a judge? That I'm not profligate? Does it mention in the recommendations of a judge? All it says you have to be 45 years of age, practicing law for 10 years.
Could be
so we have a lower standard than parliamentarians. Why is this language then not reflected there as well? Let's accuse ourselves before we accuse anybody else what they are or what they are not. So either we have a much lesser test, we can't, at least I would be very scared to meet this test, terrified to meet this test. So either we don't have a similar test. So we have to read the Constitution as a living whole, and where the Constitution has brought down the acts, it clearly says 2 years, 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, or it's factual, you're not a citizen, fine, that's very clear. There is no punishment here, but you're out. So without a punishment, you're out. There's no punishment. So, but suppose a person is a citizen of Pakistan, not a Pakistani citizen, but becomes a citizen of Pakistan later. Would he stand disqualified for life? Suppose he filed a nomination paper and he had another nationality or whatever, and he got disqualified. Disqualification for life, and then subsequently he said, okay, I've surrendered my US nationality and now I want to contest. So I don't know, we have to read it in a way that is meaningful, and we must bear in mind the conditionalities that were imposed to exclude people from this. I mean, the degree situation, thankfully,